Hi everyone. So I'll be talking to you about the control of false codling moth with EPN and EPF. So as you know, false codling moth is one of the most important agricultural pests in South Africa, and our search for novel and effective control methods, specifically for the soil-dwelling life stages of false codling moth, have led us to entomopathogens in the soil environment, such as fungi and nematodes. Now, fungi and nematodes have shown great potential as biocontrol agents, but what about using them together? And this has now prompted us to look at which combinations would yield the most favorable interactions, and also how would we combine them to achieve that. There are three types of interactions. Complementarity, so if you combine the two, you'll have no interaction whatsoever. Antagonism is where you have the overall effect is less effective than if used separately, and the rarer synergy, where the overall virulence is higher than the sum of its parts. And synergy is rarer because pathogens are generally used for their high virulence against the target pest, which leaves very little room for improvement. And all three EPN and all three EPF that I'm using are highly virulent, even though their modes of lethality and their kill times do differ. So what's the aim of my project is to find out which combinations of the EPN and EPF yield the most synergistic interaction, and also how will we combine them to achieve this. So the rescreening and dose response bioassays yielded high virulence against false codling moth larvae at very low concentrations. So I used the most virulent candidate of EPN and most virulent candidate of EPF in a pilot trial for different sequence assays. Treatment 1 was the simultaneous application of EPN and EPF. Treatment 2 was EPF application with a 48-hour delay and then EPN application. Treatment 3 was straight EPNs, and treatment 4 was my control. So if you look at treatment 1, on the x-axis you'll see days after inoculation, and the y-axis is larval mortality. Treatment 1 is the simultaneous application, and you'll see 80% mortality after 2 days and 100% mortality after 4 days. Compare this now to treatment 2, which was EPF application, 48 hours, and EPN application. You'll see that after 2 days, EPF alone have no larval mortality. After 3 days, it's very low, but after 4 days, it has very comparable larval mortality to treatment 1, which is a simultaneous application, which is to say 2 days after nematode application. This tells us two things: that our nematode that I used was predictably effective, but also if the EPF were given a chance to establish, you have a small increase in mortality. So what about treatment 3, which was the straight EPN application? We see, it's the purple bars, we see that the larval mortality is not comparable to either treatment 1, simultaneous application, or treatment 2, which was EPF 48-hour EPN application. And all of this indicates a synergistic interaction, which is exactly what you're looking for. And this is only using one EPN and one EPF. So using these preliminary results to guide our further research, we are hoping to land up with a new set of biocontrol agents with recommendations for orchard application, which will hopefully yield shorter kill time and better control for the soil-dwelling stages of false codling moth. Thank you very much.